I didn't come down here, do anything other but to get the truth. Did you kill Nolan? Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death? Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone? People are still out there partying and they're having a good time, but something happened to where it necessitated you guys to get the boat up and running. Can you explain that?
Yeah, I'm like yelling at other people, trying to tell them, calm down, like, the boat could possibly sink, and Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan, get the F on the boat, get on the boat. And Nolan said, no, I'm staying out here. The next day, I got a phone call from my buddy Trace, and he was like, hey man, they just found his body. My reaction was I was with my buddy Brooks, and I broke down.
You guys had been interviewed by law enforcement. Mm-hmm. All of you guys have given statements. But then I think that there's a part associated with this that's being rumored out in the public, and that is the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages, how the cell phone was retrieved. And I just want you to tell your side of this, because what we're getting from the media is that they literally had to, coerce you guys into giving it back. You didn't know where it was at. You were hesitant to give the phone over. Almost as they had to turn your wrist or twist your arm just to give it back.
Right.
Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And so I went back to my buddy's house that I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff? Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, oh, where y'all at? My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, all right, and then he just hung up. And so about 30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who is Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too. Great guy, and his mom and their family is very close with the Wells family, and I mean, so I don't know why she was there, what was going on, but I was very surprised by this. I was like, you just basically kicked the door open and, bust up in the house with no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
He's not white.
Just white.
Yeah.
Or all white, I guess you might call it.
Yeah.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people?
I know some of the guys.
the mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, I know some of them. So eventually, things started to get heated, and I was just a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, man, come outside with me. And I was like, all right. And I walked outside with him. He was like, man, I don't know why, they're panicking, and, this is just, I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up, and, this is nothing that we have to worry about. And as much as, I sat there and I told him, I was like, I agree. I would think, he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan left the phone on the boat. And when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat, because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, the night before the 4th. And So the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there. But his phone, I mean, he was drinking. He didn't have his phone in the water because no one did. And I mean, there was more than just Nolan's phone that wasn't on the boat with us.
So it was more than just Nolan's phone that was on the boat.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had all our phones, but on the boat. But those weren't the only people. Like Nolan wasn't the only person that left a phone on the boat. There was a lot of people that left phones on the boat, that didn't ride out or in with us. So I mean, there was a couple phones that we had that we didn't know who they belonged to, and my buddies got that figured out, But it wasn't just Nolan's phone that was on the boat who wasn't there. There was a lot of phones.
So when they barged in, they started getting frantic. The mom asked for Nolan's phone.
Right.
Was there a struggle over it, or did you guys hand it over?
I mean, just handed it over. I mean, we didn't think anything of it. Like, she asked for Nolan's phone. We knew they were close friends with, the Wells family, and my buddy went out to his truck and handed the phone over. No complications, no issue, nothing. But I mean, I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
When did you? Miss Christine is Nolan's mom.
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on, no, I didn't talk to her once. Like it was like 12:30. I mean, I might have texted her a couple times and talked briefly about a couple things, but I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had Nolan's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because Nolan had his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, it's Wyatt said it's, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat, so Wyatt put it in his truck, it's normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her. I mean, Nolan just left it on the boat. We handed the phone to her that night of the 4th of July.
And did you guys go through the phone, or?
Of course not. I mean, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything. I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off the boat and put it in Wyatt's truck, and then no one touched it until we handed it back, to the mom that was at my buddy's house.
Was that the only phone that she picked up, or was it other people's phone that they came and got? Or?
That I know of, I think that was the only one that she had. But I'm not completely sure. I think that's the only one that she took Nolan's. That's it. And
so we're on the 4th, where the night, probably going into the morning of the 5th, this happens. Then the dad comes back at some point to get the keys.
Right.
What happened there? When was this, and what happened?
Well, my buddy Brooks drove me and dropped me off at my house, and I woke up to a text the next morning that Miss Christina texted me, and she said, hey, Nolan's dad's there, is there at my buddy's house to pick up the keys. And, I didn't think anything of it. I told her that I was praying for her, and, that we were out there, and we were, doing everything that we could to help out.
And when he came to pick the keys up, was there a confrontation, or? Because I could have sworn I saw on the news that when he came to pick the keys up, it was almost like an altercation because you guys didn't want to get the keys over, or you didn't know where the keys were at?
I mean, no, absolutely not. I mean, I wasn't there, but from what my friend told me, they just had to look for Nolan's keys. It's not like, why would we be hiding Nolan's keys? There's no reason to hide anything. This is our friend. We have nothing to hide. I mean, we were trying to do everything that we could to help out.
All right, so I want to be clear with this one thing, because I know you mentioned before that you have no reason to touch the phone. Obviously, you didn't touch the phone.
Right.
But is there any chance or any knowledge that you have that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
Absolutely not. I mean, like I said, there was no reason for us to get on Nolan's phone. No one touched Nolan's phone, but nothing. If none of us had touched Nolan's phone, then there's no reason for anything to be deleted. I mean, no one even was in contact with his phone until it was moved from the boat to the truck. and none of us have access to Nolan's password to get on his phone and delete anything. Absolutely not. And we have no reason to delete anything. I mean, there's nothing to hide here. I mean, we have had no reason to delete anything, and we never did.
All right, so I have something I want to make sure that we're clear about, because you had mentioned earlier that you saw Nolan cradling Katie. I think her name is Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
I just want you to explain, what does that mean? Some people in their mind, they may think he's cradling like a baby. Like what is that scenario look like?
Yeah, he was. I mean, Nolan was off. The last time I saw him, like I said, I was off the bow of the boat, and like I said earlier, if you had jumped off the bow of the boat, you were probably about chest or neck deep in water. So Nolan wasn't like carrying her out the water. She's sitting in the water, and Nolan's arms are under the water, and he's carrying her from under the water. But her head's still out of the water. Nolan's head's still out of the water. And I was looking at both of them. So.
Oh, so he's kind of like holding her.
Right.
Kind of like,
in the water, though.
I mean, like we grown, right? There's two people in the water. They feeling each other.
Right.
Like meaning feeling they like each other.
Right.
And
that was obvious.
He's a little more close to her, and they're kind of having a moment.
Correct.
Not insinuating that it's sexual, but
no, of course not. Yeah.
They're together. They like each other. You looking at him, you like, bro, you crazy, because you know that he like her and he's hanging out with her.
Yeah, right, okay. Exactly.
That makes sense. And when was the last time that you saw Nolan? And then when was the last time that someone reported to you that Nolan was seen? Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
You saw him at a certain point, but then someone else saw him a lot later when you guys were gone.
Right. Okay. So the last time I personally laid eyes on Nolan was at like 3:00, and he was, front of the boat with the girl, and that's the last time I saw him. But there were, I've talked to somebody personally that saw Nolan at 6:00, and someone, we weren't even the last people to see Nolan. Once we left, there were still dozens on dozens of boats around us. And I mean, clearly we were not the last people to see Nolan.
So Warren, I'm going to ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out.
Okay.
I didn't come down here to, do anything other but to get the truth, right, and for you to have a voice in this. Right. And the first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan?
Of course not.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
Of course not. And absolutely not.
They say that you guys deleted stuff out of his phone. Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone?
No, of course not.
The mom acts like, or at least she portrayed on television, and the rumors are that you weren't really good friends with Nolan. Is that true or not?
Absolutely not. I hung out with Nolan probably like 3 days a week. I mean, seriously, at least. Some days my friends want to hang out every single day, and Nolan was always there. So.
And obviously people may see this and know the facts later, right, that you weren't able to go to the funeral, or the memorial service.
Right.
Why didn't you go? What was that?
Well, I mean, with everything going on social media right now, with people saying the crazy things that they're saying, I would never want to take the attention off of Nolan and his family. They don't deserve that. And, for own personal reasons, I mean, I've gotten thousands of death threats. My family's got thousands of death threats. And, for my own safety, I'm not going to put my own health and safety at risk. It breaks my heart that I can't go, and it hurt me more than anything, because obviously I want to say my last goodbyes to one of my best friends. But I mean, if I'm getting thousands of death threats with people saying they're going to kill me and do crazy things to my family and I couldn't bring myself to go, because I got to put my own safety first. And even if that means, missing my friend's funeral, I mean, it's horrible, and I wish I could have been there, but that's what's been going on,
And, you guys, I think this is the first time that you've publicly gave a statement about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And obviously you're doing it with me. We're going to put it out there for the world. Why did you choose to do it now? And why did you choose to not speak to anybody but me?
Right. Okay. Well, Officer Tatum, I've been watching you for a good while now, and I think you're a great guy. You've kind of, ever since things got really hot, you've kind of been on my friends and I's side. And I really like that about you. I mean, I thought you were very confident and well-spoken, and I really enjoyed that. And all my friends and I watch you. We all think you're great. We love your faith with the Lord. You know, we try to be closer and closer with the Lord every day. And so did Nolan, you know, and, you know, that we just really liked the way you spoke about us and how you took our side, not based off someone's agenda and, you know, based off of race. Cause I mean, that's a horrible thing, you know?
Was this about race? Did this have anything to do with race as far as from your perspective?
Absolutely not. I mean, Nolan's been a great friend of mine since 8th grade. Nolan isn't my only friend of color. And, you know, I have plenty of friends through high school and friends I have now, not just Nolan, who are black, Mexican. You know, I've never looked at that, and none of my friends ever have. Like, and if you do, you know, that's disgusting, you know?
And if you had a chance to, you know, tell the world that have painted this picture of you and your friends as being potential murderers of Nolan, white supremacists, racists, what would you want the world to know if you can summarize to them in a very short paragraph or a few sentences?
Yeah.
What would you want to say to them if you had the opportunity?
I would want to say to them that my family and I are praying for y'all. You know, I can never bring myself to tell somebody that I'm going to kill them and that I'm going to, you know, like I've received and my family's received absolutely horrible threats about this. And, you know, I want people to know that our faith with the Lord is stronger and means more to us than anything. And we all trust in the Lord, and for the Lord to reveal the truth. And I know that's what will happen because I have faith and my family has faith. But I want people to know that I'm praying for them. And if they want to speak hate and speak, you know, these horrible things, and I mean, you're obviously not in the right state of mind, and you need to work on yourself. It's a horrible thing, and, you know, but race was never a thing between Nolan and I and my friends. I mean, I have friends in my friend group that are Mexican and, you know, mixed, black. I mean, that's never mattered. And I think it's just absolutely disgusting that people try to make this narrative out of something that it's absolutely not, first off, and out of something that they have zero facts about. Jackson County hasn't released any facts. There haven't been any facts about this case other than that, you know, just timelines and, you know, stuff like that. But it's horrible that people have made this out to be something that it's absolutely not. And it's disgusting in my opinion.
Was Nolan the only black person on that island?
Absolutely not. I saw a lot of black people. And like I said, I mean, you know, it's not pointed out or anything. I mean, I wasn't looking at that, but my buddy Trayson was out there, and, you know, he's mixed. Javon was out there. He's came out. He's mixed. I know a bunch of my friends that are black that were out there that day that I haven't even mentioned. I mean, Nolan was not the only black person out there by no means. I mean, like, there was thousands of people out there, white, Mexican, black, you know, everyone, you know.
And in the friend group, is Nolan the only black person in the friend group?
Absolutely not. My buddy Trayson's black. You know, I have other friends of color. I mean, our friend group's very tight, and, you know, we have not a small group of guys, but we have 10 to 12 guys in my friend group, and, you know, we're all from Ocean Springs, and, you know, we grew up together. But Nolan is not the only black guy in my friend group by any means, and everybody knows that.
There's controversy around the CETO, right? You guys called it in.
Right.
They have that record of you guys, you know, making that emergency call.
Right.
But then there's this, I guess, graphic of you guys traveling at a slow speed. Then all of a sudden you accelerate.
Right.
People are saying that that's an indication of something afoot or foul play going on in that timeline. What do you have to say to the naysayers who are mentioning that something must have happened, that you guys were going slow, then you accelerated all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely not. We got towed probably a quarter mile. Like I said, My buddy Bart drove his boat up next to ours after he pulled us out away from the island, and then he towed us a little more while we were trying to get the motor figured out. I mean, the motor would trim down. So then eventually, and the motor wouldn't trim down. And so eventually we figured out if you held the manual trim on the motor will stay in the water even when you start to accelerate. Because when my buddy would put the boat in gear and forward, the motor would come right back up. So it trimmed down, but then it'd come right back up when you went to go put it in forward and drive off. So yeah, we stopped at one point. My buddy pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat, the captain of the boat, got in the water, pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat, and hit it. And like I said earlier, we all transferred our weight to the front. So, because there was so much water in the back of the boat that when my buddy had it pinned out all the way, trying to go as fast as we can, and the boat was still sitting like this on the water. Wouldn't have been planed out. So we had to move all the way to the front of the boat. Everybody had to get on the bow, and eventually we planed. Everybody got sat back, and when you're on plane and you're going, water starts coming out the boat. Like that's the whole reason he pulled the plug, because when you come out the water and you're on plane and the boat's level, water starts coming out the boat. So, I mean, that's why we came to a stop, so he could jump in the water, pull the plug, and then we hauled in. There was no stopping, because if you do stop, the water starts coming back in the boat because the plug's out. So
there's nothing nefarious there. It's just a formality of trying to unplug the boat and
absolutely
get it docked properly.
Correct. I mean, we were just trying to, solve the boat's issues, because we wouldn't have ever gone anywhere if the boat wasn't figured out. So
and Nolan being a really good friend of yours, really good friend of all of you guys, some of you guys have been accused of killing him. I mean, obviously he was somebody you knew, somebody you spent a lot of time with. With all that has gone on, if Nolan was here, what do you think he would say about all this?
I think Nolan has Nolan's one of the best men I've ever met. I mean, he has an amazing heart. And like I said in the beginning, I mean, Nolan is one of the nicest and sweetest people I've ever met. I mean, seriously, he had no hate in his heart whatsoever. I think if Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be sick to his stomach. I mean, Nolan hated all hate and arguing and drama. He didn't like any of that. So, I mean, I think if Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be very, very upset. I mean, it's horrible. If he knew his friends were getting these threats and, we were, felt threatened for our lives, I mean, Nolan would be traumatized if he was here, and if he knew that. I mean, he was a person of no violence, and, he had a really good heart. He would hate it.
You think your friendship with Nolan inspired you to want to speak out?
Of course. I mean, I know Nolan, and like I said, I've been really tight with Nolan since 8th grade, and he's a best friend of mine. He's like a brother, and Nolan's the type of guy to fight back for what's right and fight for the truth. And I know Nolan would tell me if he was here to fight back and make sure the truth is out and make sure your word is out, because that's what matters most. So
after all that's been said in this interview, do you have any theories about what could have possibly happened to Nolan?
My buddies and I have talked about it, and like I said, I mean, I've been on the water my entire life. My friends have. It's not like we're unexperienced in this, but Nolan was my best friend, and he was my friend's best friends, and he was like a brother to me. And more than anything, and the thing that's most important is what happened to him. And I want to know just as much as anybody else. I mean, that's all. Like, my friends haven't stopped talking about that. Like, what happened, and just trying to figure it out. But I would never want to put it on somebody else because of the hate that I've received for just being out there around them, and my name getting brought up because I called the Coast Guard. I was the first one to call the Coast Guard. I mean, I don't know, and I want to know more than anybody. I mean, my friends and I are very have been wondering this for a while, and You know, we just want to know as much as anybody else what happened to him. But I would never want to sit here and blame anybody else and put this on anybody else because of the hate and death threats that my family and my friends have received. It's horrible. And I would never want someone else to like experience that, you know?
Yeah, especially if there's no evidence to it.
Exactly.
So I got two more things I want to address directly. It's been said out there that you guys immediately delete your social media, lower it up, as if you were in some type of fear that you would be implicated in this. What do you say to that?
I mean, of course we lured up, and of course, you know, I deleted my social media. I was getting death threats before anything ever came out because I was the one that called the Coast Guard. I mean, people put this all on me because I was the one that called. I was the one that was, you know, worried. My friends were just as well. I mean, of course I deleted all my social media. I was getting insane death threats, like stuff I couldn't even believe 2 days after. And, you know, we went straight to the police. I wanted the police to come and ask questions. I wanted them to know and have all of my information. And, I mean, people were accusing me of murdering my best friend. It's sick. I mean, like, just because of race. I mean, it's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, I got off of social media because there were people saying insane things to me and my family, and I just couldn't sit there and look at it. I mean, that's it.
And Warren, thank you so much, man, for being bold and courageous, for telling your story. The purpose of me doing this and flying down here is because I wanted to know for myself. I always felt that the narrative that was out there wasn't quite complete. It seems like there was a rush to judgment. And I know that you could have taken the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm afraid for my life. And I'm just not going to put my neck out there. Right. But I applaud you and appreciate you for stepping up, for doing what Nolan would be proud of you doing. And that is putting your word out there and not letting the naysayers run with the narrative.
Of course.
And you being a young guy, I'm much older than you. I could take the punches.
Right.
You know, I love dishing it out. But for you as a young man to really put your neck out there, to stand up for your friends and stand up for Nolan is very honorable. And I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Well, I appreciate you. I mean, you being here and flying down has meant a lot. And I mean, I just wanted to get my story out there because I know that's what Nolan would want me to do. And I want the truth to come out, and I pray that the good Lord reveals the truth to everybody. So thank you, Brandon.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.